Starting now, this is your local news leader, News 10 ABC at noon.
One house, 3 bodies inside, and questions about what happened loom. The time is high noon. The station is News 10. I'm Zion Decoto. Happening now, the investigation continues into the suspicious deaths that occurred Saturday morning at a home in Pawlet, Vermont. Vermont State Police are confirming 3 people have died in the incident. They received a call of a suspicious person near a residence on Route 133. That's when troopers found the victims. They say the investigation is in its early stages, and they are asking anyone with any information to come forward. News 10 is the station to stay with. We have a crew at the scene, and we will have much more tonight at 4. For the second time in 2.5 months, former President Donald Trump has been the subject of an assassination attempt. Charges have been filed against the man police say was trying to kill the Republican presidential nominee. Ryan Resley Rowath appeared in federal court this morning facing 2 charges: possession of a firearm as a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. So far, he has not been charged with any plot to kill President Trump. Arraignment is scheduled for September the 30th. We'll have much more on Routh and a possible motive in just a bit. All this happened at Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. The FBI says a Secret Service agent saw a rifle sticking out from some bushes a few holes ahead of where Trump was playing. The agent fired and the gunman dropped the rifle and fled in an SUV, leaving the firearm behind, along with 2 backpacks, a scope used for aiming, and a GoPro camera. He was arrested a short time later. Many New York State lawmakers are reacting to the latest assassination attempt. Governor Kathy Hochul saying on X, the site formerly known as Twitter, that violence of any form is unacceptable. We must settle our differences with civility and respect. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said there is no place in this country for political violence of any kind. The perpetrator must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And House Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik from the North Country said, "We must ask ourselves how an assassin is allowed to get this close to President Trump again. There continues to be a lack of answers for the horrific assassination attempt in Pennsylvania." We will have much more on the investigation coming up. Happening today, students in the Bethlehem School District are back in school with new rules in place after the district was plagued with threats last week. The issue of school safety has been rearing its head all across the Capital District this season during the back-to-school season. In Bethlehem, police there will continue their increased presence at the high school and the middle school. The school day will start with a precautionary lockout for all students. High school students will also have their bags checked when entering the school. The district canceled all on-site after-school and evening activities today, not because of any new threats, but out of an abundance of caution. The FBI and local police are investigating after at least 5 threats were made to the district last week. Happening now, crews are investigating a large fire that broke out at the Spire Falls Hydroelectric Dam over the weekend. A look at these images now. Bright orange flames emanated from the Brookfield Spire Falls Hydro facility as an ash and tar-colored smoke billowed towards the otherwise blue sky. Firefighters from the Greenfield Fire District trying to douse the flames as best as they could as the dam was engulfed with tar and ash-hued smoke. The dam is located between Corinth and Moreau in northern Saratoga County. Officials say it's a vital part of the Capital Region, supplying power to Saratoga, Schenectady, Troy, and Albany. Keep your TV on 10. We'll have much more on that fire coming up at 4 o'clock. Bills, 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 to take a page from Destiny's Child. We all hate paying them. Well, the New York State Public Service Commission is holding a hearing this week concerning proposed changes in the electric and gas delivery rates of National Grid, which could include rate hikes. The hearing comes in response to National Grid proposing an increase to increase its annual electric and gas delivery. More specifically, these increases would result in the average residential customer's monthly bill increasing $18 per month, both gas and electric services. According to New York state law, the commission has to review and decide on the utility's proposal. They can accept the proposal as is or reject it or make changes. The commission will also take into account suggestions from other parties and the public before making their decision. The hearing will be held tomorrow at 6 p.m. Keeping kids safe as we hit the roads, a facet of life for many of us. This week is Child Passenger Safety Week in New York State, and the state has announced free car seat checks will be available statewide starting today. More than a dozen coordinated statewide events will be happening throughout this week, ending on Saturday as a part of the National Seat Check Saturdays. It's a free car seat check events which are included to ensure all parents and caregivers understand how to choose the right car seat for their child's age and size. It also teaches parents how to install the seat correctly. For more information, head to the website on your screen. On to some good news now. The North Greenbush Fire Department and Tom Moran from Safe Kids held a bicycle safety rodeo over the weekend aimed at promoting safety in the community. During the event, children navigated through obstacle courses while receiving safety tips from officers. The event also featured free food and raffles with prizes including bikes and helmets.
It's to help educate the children and provide an attention for them. We talk about leadership and safety in reference to driving their vehicles and how to contribute and donate volunteer services themselves back to the community. So we do a lot to help educate the kids in our community.
Helmet inspections were conducted and helmets deemed unsafe were replaced for free. In Highland, the annual Brain Injury Walk took place at the Walkway over the Hudson. The event happened over the weekend and was hosted by the Brain Injury Association of New York State. The walk brings together brain injury survivors, caregivers, and professionals to celebrate and honor members of the brain injury community. Before the walk, the Brain Injury Association recognized this year's honoree, Caleb Brunick. After receiving the honor, he says he plans to share his recovery journey with others and to advocate for brain injury survivors. A couple in Troy is helping to keep the legacy of local veterans alive by cleaning veterans' graves at one cemetery in Troy. Gina and Richard Boyden have made it their mission to clean as many graves as possible. Gina says it started in the spring when she was looking for her grandfather's grave and came across about 24 nearly hidden gravestones.
I noticed all the grass all over the cemeteries and the footstones, and as we kept looking, I said there was more and there was more, and I said these are all veterans. We decided, we can't have the rest of these look like this. These are veterans. They need to be, honored, kind of the gone, not forgotten.
Gina and Richard have put flags at each veteran's stone. Some fought in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War, while other gravestones even date back to the 1800s. Now, Gina and Richard go once a month. They mow the grass, pull away the weeds, and brush off the dirt. Gina says the hours of sweat they put in is nothing compared to the sacrifice of these veterans, and the couple plans to keep up with this work to make sure these veterans will not be forgotten. That leads us to today's Giving on 10. A special store for foster children has been helping kids feel confident in the clothes they wear for the past 3 years. The unique store has been a game changer for many foster children, offering brand new items completely free. Unlike traditional charity shops, this store exclusively features brand new items, either donated or sourced from closed stores. According to Pastor Charlie Muller, the new items help to ensure that children in foster care feel equal to their peers.
This sneaker here is probably a $100 sneaker. This is a Kyrie Nike, and so if the kids, they don't feel like they don't feel less than the other kids.
The store is also available for young adults who may be aging out of the foster system and looking for a wardrobe to prepare for a job. Pastor Charlie says the store is always open for kids looking for new items, and there is no limit on the amount of items that kids can take. We're just getting started here on News 10 at noon. In addition to COVID, a monkeypox outbreak had many people concerned about another pandemic. While that never happened, researchers are making sure it never does. The new milestone on a monkeypox vaccine coming up. And as negotiations for a ceasefire in Gaza continues, the one piece of land that is keeping both sides from reaching an agreement when we come back. And here's a look at what you can watch tonight right here on News 10 ABC. We'll be right back with more local news. As we told you earlier, the man accused in an assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump was in federal court this morning. This, as current President Biden says the Secret Service needs more help. ABC's Perry Russum has the latest on the charges the suspect is facing.
Today, the suspect in the latest apparent assassination attempt on former President Trump in a West Palm Beach, Florida courtroom. This morning, Ryan Wesley Roth charged with federal gun crimes, including possession of a firearm as a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He did not enter a plea. Investigators say Trump was on his golf course in West Palm Beach yesterday afternoon near the 5th hole when a Secret Service agent 1 hole ahead of Trump spotted the barrel of a rifle.
And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the
To the Middle East now, a small strip of land along Gaza's southern border with Egypt has become a sticking point in the Israel-Hamas ceasefire negotiations due to the systems of tunnels that cross the border. Under the Philadelphia corridor between Gaza and Egypt are 200 tunnels, including 9 that cross the border for decades. The tunnels have been used for smuggling. But now Israel says Hamas terrorists are emerging from them to keep fire along the range rockets at Israel and then retreat back into the tunnel for defense purposes. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis still protesting, calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire deal and bring the remaining 101 hostages home. A listeria outbreak has forced changes at a popular producer of deli, meats, and cheeses. The company narrowed down where that outbreak came from, how it plans to prevent it from happening again, coming up. And the local stars will be out in a special Dancing with the Stars themed fundraiser. Who at News 10 will be launching their dancing shoes, all for a good cause.